school. Time for high school boys basketball tonight on North Metro TV. It's the Centennial Cougars in the house to take on the Blaine Bengals. Game 4 for the Bengals, game 3 for the Cougars, and it comes to start off rivalry week here on North Metro TV between Centennial and Blaine. Good evening, J.W. Cox, alongside Megan Knight. Mary Peters is our sideline reporter as well here tonight. And Megan, this is quite the rivalry. Basketball court, wrestling mat, on the ice, wherever it is when these two high schools match up. It's been pretty close, though, on the basketball court for the boys over the last few years.
It has. Since the 2004-2005 season, Centennial and Blaine have gone 10-10 in their matchup rivalry, and tonight will temporarily decide who's winning that rivalry. And this game in particular holds a place in my heart because my sophomore year playing for Centennial, we lost to Blaine in sections, which ended our year. And I'm not sure if I'm just extra bitter or have a really good memory, but this is definitely a game I'm excited to watch. Yes, and I think that the fact that he's a junior is really good for Centennial. He's got 2 more years to really build his team around him. And the fact that Peterson, Faison, and if you bring in Bryce Johnson, the first game, those 3 scored 45 points altogether. Exactly. In the beginning of the season, like I said, last game we had, it is about finding the chemistry within your own teammates. And when you add a new coach, a new coaching system within that, it adds a whole new element and a new challenge to overcome at the beginning of the season, because you're trying to learn an entirely new program. Instead of just working with new teammates, you're trying to learn your new plays, new defense, all the above.
You lose a guy, someone else has to step up.
Yeah, well, Ben Shear is the Blaine's leading scorer with 15 points per game. However, what Blaine has is even scoring across the board. They have 2 other players that score 10 points a game and 2 more that score 8. So hopefully that will work in their favor tonight, and it'll still be hard to stop them on offense. And I think this will help in the fact that Ben Shear is out, but Andy Leo is a few inches taller than anyone on Centennial's roster. And the fact that he blocked 3 shots and had 4 altered shots in this past games, I think will be a big factor for them tonight.
From the Fieldhouse at Blaine, it's rivalry night tonight. The Bengals and the Cougars. Megan, excited, no doubt. We talked about it. This means a lot to you personally, but it's going to be an exciting game, and we can't wait to get it started.
I agree, and the fact that Centennial has won the last 2 games in this gym will make it that much more interesting.
It's going to be fun. You've got it all right here live on North Metro TV. Bengals and Cougars, boys basketball tonight. Steps in well for him.
Which is surprising me why Centennial's taking so many outside shots. It'd be one thing if they were making all their 3-pointers, but if not, this is the perfect time to try and drive in and get layups.
There's a lot of guys with 2 fouls that they'll have to be careful in this second half.
Definitely, and I think that probably hurt Blaine in the first half. It put some of their main scorers on the bench, and I think one of the keys for the second half is to now get Andy Leo more involved. He's been out for so long. They really need that inside presence back for Blaine, especially on offense.
Certainly.
The Cougars need to stop settling for threes. There's plenty open, but the fact that they're so open is because they haven't made many. And you can see that Faison is so athletic, and if he can make the right read, he can get to the basket at will whenever he wants.
And we saw him be able to finish in some pretty amazing offense on the intensity side.
I do think they need to attack the bucket more, but going back to defense, I think they need to be a little more careful. If Blaine starts knocking down their open jumpers, it could be dangerous for Centennial.
Certainly could. Should be a fun second half here. How big now, and it's the defense of the Cougars.
It definitely is, and this is definitely a different game than what we were talking about even 1 minute ago. And I think what Blaine needs to do is stay patient. They can't win this game in 1 possession. They can't tie this game in 1 possession. So they have to stay patient and just work at it one basket at a time.
It's a 16 post at this point, but Megan, at this point, when you're down that big, it's going to be even easier to think, as we saw for the Bengals just there, fire up a quick shot. That's going to play right into the hand of the Cougars if they don't slow things down on the Bengals side and run their offense.
Exactly, and it's not even about offense. You have to focus and get each stop on defense too. So 2 possessions for each side of the floor. I mean, you have to get a stop on defense before you can even think about getting your shot off on offense, and that's going to be huge in these last few minutes of the game.
51-30.
Definitely, and he had 1 shot, as you can see here from the outside. He had a good 3-pointer, but no one could stop him when he wanted to take it to the basket, and you can just see how athletic he is and how much body control he has, and that's really hard to stop.
That move right there.
Exactly, and like I said earlier, I think the matchups they have coming up in the near future could change this game that they have later on in January.
We're going to find out a lot about these teams before we end December. For Megan Knight, for Mary Peters down, and the rest of our crew, I'm J.W. Cox. It's the Blaine Bengals that fall here at home, 67-49 to the Cougars, and you watched it all, part of Rivalry Week here on North Metro TV. Good night, everybody.